Hi guys. So a few months ago, I created my first towel set, and I really enjoyed the project. It was super easy to do, so I thought it only created 16 towels, and I run through those before wash day. So I decided to create a new set. So this is like part two to that first video that I did a few months ago. And the fabric that I used previously was not available on eBay, so I found this camper kind of motif on eBay, and I paired it with some green flannel material. So both are flannel materials. The camper design was a little more expensive than the green one. And the fabric for a yard of each was under $30 for both. Not super cheap, but I picked some fabrics that I know I'm gonna love and I'm gonna use for years to come. So $30, not too crazy. So I cut each into 16 pieces. That is no measuring at all. So if you are somebody who doesn't like to measure, just cut them up into 16 equal pieces. So I've got the green on the bottom and the camper design on the front. I think having two kinds of fabric just makes it a little more interesting. So the first step is just to fold down all of the edges. And if you are new to this channel, I just love these clips. I think I talk about these colorful clips in every single video that I do. Ever since I found them on Amazon, I just use them for just about everything that I can. I think they make sewing just so much easier. You know, you can clip what you need to clip, and you don't have to pierce your fabric. You know, you don't have to worry about little holes in your fabric, especially if you're working with fabric that's a little more delicate. That's more of an issue. Piercing holes in flannel, not really an issue, but the clips just make it so much easier. You know, you can clip what you need to clip, and as you're sewing, you can just move your clips around, and it just makes it so much easier. I've been so happy with these sets of clips, and they're plastic. You would think that they would break easily, but I've only had a few that break from time to time. And quite honestly, I think the breakage probably happens when my cat gets a hold of them. He finds them very fun. He likes to grab them off tables and then scoot them around on the floor, and sometimes he likes to try to chew on them. I think that's probably where the breakage comes in. So I don't think that's something I can blame the product for. They probably aren't meant to be also as a cat toy. Mostly they have stayed in one piece. They have not broken. So a few years of use. I'd say maybe I've been using them for 3 or 4 years. So pretty good product on Amazon. So I would say the most time-consuming portion of putting these together is really the clipping. I'm not doing any kind of measuring. I'm just folding down the edges. You know, if you were selling this item, you know, for someone else to use, you know, I'd be a little more meticulous about measuring and making sure, you know, the edges are even and all of that. But I'm thinking, you know, these towels are just for my own personal use. I'm just going to be using them in the kitchen for, you know, quick cleanups, just so I don't have to use paper towels. I'm thinking over time, the $30 that I spent for the fabric, it's going to pay off. You know, little less paper towels that I have to use. and you do have the excitement of feeling eco-friendly. You're just washing them and reusing them, so a little less paper that's going to end up in your landfill. So if the environment is something that you are at all thinking about, I think these are a good investment, not only in time and money, and there's something, I think they're kind of fun to use. You're wiping up your kitchen spills in the morning, and you're having something bright and colorful to look at. It's a little more exciting than just ripping off some brown or white paper towels. So I think they're kind of a fun thing to add into your kitchen. So when you're first starting this project, the folding down process can be a little bit tiresome and tedious. But just do it while you've got the TV on or something, or watching a movie, and just have something fun in the background while you're doing it, because it can get a little monotonous, and you'll be doing 16 of these. And just getting the folds to fold in the way that you want can be a little hard when you're first starting out. And this is, even at this point, I've done quite a few towels. I did 16 in the first batch, and this is probably about halfway through doing this set. So probably my fingers have enough muscle memory that I've done about 8 of these, and I still struggle a little bit just trying to get the folds to fold correctly. So just to give you a little bit of a warning when you're first starting out, getting everything to fold and to look nice, it takes a little bit of effort. The sewing itself was a lot easier than just folding them down. So give yourself a little bit of patience, a little bit of grace. The first few are going to feel a little more frustrating, but the folding down process does get easier. And the nice thing about flannel is it's one of the easiest fabrics to work with. It's not like a silk where if you fold it down, it might move and shift on you. The flannel is gonna stay in place a little bit better as you're working with it. So I think this is a really good project if you're a beginner. And so if you're folding it and it's not looking right, just undo the clips and refold it. And that's the nice thing, is you can get everything just right during the folding process. And so you can just be ready just to start sewing. And the actual sewing is going to be really easy. You're just going to be using one stitch. And it's just the easiest stitch in the world. And these stitches can be tiny and delicate as you'd like, or if you just want to be just bold and big and do it quickly, completely up to you. I'm a big fan of tiny stitches. I like to make my stitches just as tiny as I can, just so they're not really visible and obvious. So it depends what kind of look you're trying to create with these towels. For me, I want my eyes to be looking at the pretty and colorful campers, rather than the stitches itself. So I'm making the stitches just as tiny as I can. And if you're a beginner at first, you're going to put a lot of concentration into the stitches, but as you get going, they go really fast, and your hands are going to get some muscle memory, so you don't need to think too much about it. And your thread might get caught on the clips as you're sewing, but not a huge deal. You know, just stop your stitches and straighten out your thread and detangle it a little bit from the clips. And as you're sewing, you can move your clips farther away so that doesn't happen. You see my thread just keeps on getting stuck on the clip, but not a huge deal. And if you are new to sewing, you might want to use a thimble. The corners especially, you might your fingers, you know, might get sore trying to push your needle and thread through a few layers at a time. If you're a more experienced sewer, your fingers might have a bit of a callus from you know, years of sewing and just built up a little bit of resistance against the needle. But it completely depends on how much sewing I've been doing during the day. If I've been spending all day sewing, I might get out my thimble, just because my fingers are starting to feel a little bit sore. So even an experienced sewer, you know, gets out the thimble sometimes. Depends on just how much sewing you've been doing, you know, over your lifetime, and how much sewing you've been doing during the day. So don't be afraid to get out a thimble if your fingers are feeling kind of numb and worn. So definitely give that some thought if you're a new sewer, that a thimble can help, especially around the corners there. So I'm not going to show the entire sewing process because this is pretty much it, guys. You're just going to be doing these tiny little kind of loopy kind of stitches all around, going across all of the edges. So very simple, very beginner friendly project. So even if this is your very first sewing project, it's going to be so easy for you. You're going to feel like a pro, like you're ready to learn new stitches after this one. So this is a fun project just to get experience doing one single little stitch. And at the end of the project, you have something to show for it. So definitely a good project for beginners, just to get your confidence up. Like I can do another project after this one. And here is our finished product. So just those tiny little stitches all around. Just a really simple project, something fun that you can use in your kitchen just for quick cleanups. And at the end, you've got 16 little towels to use. And here is the 16 towels, all done. A little imperfect, no measuring required, but I think the imperfectness adds to their charm. And and I'm really happy with the aesthetic, how they look. I love the green paired with the camper motif. That's kind of a fun look to them. All right, that is it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I hope you have a great day.